Kind of a crappy day today, but at least it's warm. By the way, it's January 2nd, so Happy New Year, Squids. And we are about to go to Poolsville to a Bikes and Coffee. And I wasn't gonna go, but then I woke up. I was like, ah. Well, Alex is there. Alex is Cheap Angler on YouTube. I'll put his link below in the description so you can subscribe. He also has a 2012 black Yamaha Super Tenere, and he's got like a whole lot more money than I do for modifying it, so check out his channel. I'll put the link down below. I'm telling you, for a bike that's just easy to ride and kind of relaxed, this is it. But you know, I can't really justify keeping this one just because I have the Super Tenere. I do like the simplicity of it, but then like you make it more complex with the DCT. And I had the manual version of this. The manual version of this is fine. It's not like this is the game changer for me. Ooh, there's a big accident here. Holy cow. Beltway, creatures of the Beltway. Look at this. He spun out. That dude spun out. Wow. Yeah, he spun out and he hit the wall. Wow, that is crazy. Oh, you know what? That car over there, the white car on the shoulder, I think he was part of the collision. Well, there was another big accident on the other side of the Beltway. Same sort of thing. Car spun out. One car on one side of the shoulder, another car on the Jersey wall, smoking up, and the police was there. So there's something happening. You know, it's been raining all day, and I think it might be because of oil on the ground. I have to be very careful. You know, up ahead, if I was to take this road until it almost ended and I went left into West Virginia, right before West Virginia, there's a very famous YouTuber called Tim Pool, and he's just moved to this area from New Jersey or Philadelphia, the Philadelphia area. So he moved here, and the only reason I bring him up is because he bought a motorcycle recently. It's a Zero electric. It's the sport version.
We got this bad boy officially last week. It's the Zero SRS. Top speed is 124 miles an hour. The range seems to be about 112 miles, 110 miles. At least that's what it says. And took it to the bank, which I think is probably what, like 10 miles round trip? And then I just took it on a test drive down the highway about 70 miles an hour. You have to follow traffic, speed limit 65, but I'm not gonna get hit. And it's got 84% left. It's heavy, weighs 1,000 pounds, but that makes it feel real sturdy. So it's good. I had to stop from 70 to make a hard left, and you get only a few seconds. And so I gripped the brakes, and I was 70 to 10 miles an hour in like a second, and this thing weighs too much. Yeah, it's 1,000 pounds. So it ain't going anywhere. It says eco mode right now, and eco mode is usually the slower one. I bet if I put it on sport, it could probably flip over.
So you only rode in eco mode so far?
Yeah, I've not changed it.
What's the difference between this one and the one you just ordered?
So I ordered the FXE.
Okay.
2022, 100-mile range. Top speed I think is like 75.
Okay.
And it's an FXE. It's upright.
Oh, okay.
So this is, you know, more for driving and whatever.
Interesting.
The other one I guess is for like dirt.
How'd it feel doubling?
I was fine.
Yeah, it was kind of boring.
I wasn't
Boring?
I was holding on.
I do kind of feel like you have to go 120 miles an hour.
And I have ridden one of those. It's incredibly fast, but a lot of these tech guys, they get these Zeros because they're in love with the technology. But if I could offer him some advice. By the way, buddy, give me a message if you want to ride. I'd like to see that Zero. We can swap bikes. But if I could give him some advices, don't go after the technology and electric motorcycles because they really won't let you ride like a motorcyclist would ride. And by that I mean, electric bikes are great, the technology is great, but the reason for riding a motorcycle is to get into the countryside, go into West Virginia, into the mountains and ride. There's no charging stations out in West Virginia. I hate to tell you this. They might be in the cities, but most of the riders that ride, we go into the countryside, we go into the mountains. That's the reason the electric motorcycles aren't good for regular motorcyclists that like to have fun with motorcycles. And remember, I used to have I borrowed the Zero from a friend, and even though it's got a range of 140 or whatever, when you ride spirited, you end up wearing that battery out rather quickly. It's almost like immediate. I mean, going 100 miles and already having to recharge the battery. I remember spending so much time at parking lots and garages just charging it up. The Zero only works if you have a home base with a charger. If you have to resort to like charging in different places, you can do it. There's been people that have ridden cross country, but the fact that it's a thing to ride cross country on an electric motorcycle means that it's not quite ready. When I go to these bike meetups, we're going to go to the Poolsville Bikes and Coffee. Normally what happens is that there's usually one of these tech nerds that works for one of the companies here, and they always have a Zero, and they're always like professing, oh yeah man, you don't know what you're talking about, I ride it all the time into the mountains. But the reality is they don't really know the definition of a mountain. What they do is they do these baby rides into the mountains, but it's really just like the little foothills near the cities. Like they can ride to Frederick, charge it there, and then come back. But that's kind of like what I found about riders who don't ride very much, is that their definitions are a little bit off. Look, even with this bike, I can ride 200 miles into the mountains, ride 200 miles back, and that's a ride. That's really like what a lot of motorcyclists like to do. I am most happy when I'm riding, and I am very, very upset when I have to wait around for my bike to charge. That part I do not like. Tim Pool, message me. I will sell you this motorcycle. This is an NC700X. It's infinitely better than the Zero that you're riding. You can go out into the countryside, ride around. And by the way, those bikes, they are, what is it, $25,000. I actually thought they were cheaper. The new Zeros are, quite honestly, brilliant bikes. They're fast, they're quiet, but $25,000 for a bike that only goes 144 miles if you are commuting? Who gets a motorcycle that costs $25,000 and just commutes, other than BMW GS guys? Like, very few people. If I buy a motorcycle that's $25,000, I want to tour with it, I want to like take it to the track, I want to like go off-road. And the Zero, oh, that's where they make Fallout right there. The Zero, it's one of these bikes that's so limited. It's almost as limited as a scooter. And I'm not trying to bash it, but you just have to realize it doesn't have a lot of stuff going for it other than being electric. That bike, it would be quite a good bike. See, I'm being very careful around these corners. Anytime it's wet, I slow down. Yeah, like that bike should be $8,000 tops, unfortunately, not $25,000. I know that the prices eventually are going to go down, but you can't, other than these rich IT and YouTube sensations getting them, these bikes would not be worth much. So that's my advice to Tim Pool. Get a regular motorcycle. You know, I can see you riding this NC700. You know, it's automatic, it's nice. I'll sell it to you. Seriously, message me, I'll sell it to you. We're coming up on the Bikes and Coffee. Whoa, there's a lot of bikes. Look at this. There's a lot of bikes here. Let's check them out. Wow, there's a lot of bikes. Look at that. There's a Zero. This is Alex's Super Tenere. It's like my version of a clean bike. Zero SRS. So this is that Zero. He's got the bags on. Look at that. He's got the shad bags. The see, this is the cool thing. You can charge it here. EV Institute. Is that free? Yeah. So Alex is trying out the NC700. Look at that. It looks pretty good. I like it. Oh, this is an interesting bike. This is the Triumph Explorer Tiger. And the interesting thing is that this one's got like a shaft drive. Oh wow, look at this thing. That is crazy. Very interesting. I even like these cases. These are like the semi-hard ones. Here's the new KLR 650. I rode one of these at the IMS, and that's the old KLR 650. A lot of people here today. Yeah, this is a pretty badass bike. The helmet has also got this brake light thing. I wonder how that works.
Well, I'm saying, you're not taking that off. You're never taking that off.
Look at those lights. Quite a few people that came here on a nice rainy day. I think the more interesting bikes that I saw were the Tekken, the Yamaha Niken, and there's the Triumph Explorer with a shaft drive. I always found those to be interesting. I do like Triumphs, even though they are rated as one of the least reliable by Consumer Reports. But yeah, this is always a very good bikes and coffee. There goes Alex on his Yamaha tenere. So I'll put the link down below so you can subscribe to his channel. It's a really amazing bike that he has. He's got the same one as I do, same year. It's a black one too, but he's got a whole lot more mods than I do. There was also another Zero there. It's the really nice looking sport version of the Zero. It's the, I forgot what it is. It's SRS or something. Their names kind of suck. But yeah, Tim Pool, you should bring your bike to the Poolsville Cars and Coffee. It's not very far away from you, and you can charge it there. So how is this NC700X on the highway? Well, not that good. If you had the stock windscreen, it would be horrible. But with this large windscreen, it does deflect a lot of the wind from you. And by the way, this is a Ninja 250 touring windscreen I had. I am glad I could reuse it. It's not very good because you see that my body is it's kind of exposed. My shoulders are getting hit, my head is getting hit, my knees are getting hit. And when you compare it to bikes like the Super Tenere or GS, your body, I'm talking more about my Tenere, but the way you sit in the Super Tenere, even your legs get protected from the wind. That's why that bike is just so weirdly good. They molded that bike to fit the human body. And if you're like 5'9", 5'10", that's the perfect height for that bike, even though large riders get those. But just sitting behind that very large, wide tank on the Super Tenere, it protects you a whole lot more than this one. It's really nice keeping your hand off when you are coming to a stop. It's so easy to ride this thing too. If you're a new rider and you're thinking about getting a very inexpensive DCT that's got really good visibility and you can look around the mirrors, like it's got the ADV styling. The ADV styling really lets you turn your body and look around a lot easier than a sport bike. You know, I'm losing track of all the Teslas. I'm seeing more and more. And I like it. I like the idea of seeing Teslas. You know, as far as cars that you use a lot, it makes a lot of sense. Look at that old lady. They're really cool. I like everything about Tesla except the right to repair things that they do. You know, they don't make it easy for independent contractors to work on the Teslas. And if you need to buy like one part, you have to get it from Tesla. So, and there's nobody really making parts except Tesla. So that means that a door handle could be $1,000. So those cars are not meant for poor people or average people just yet. They are cool and they're fast. I heard they're very reliable, but the battery packs are extremely expensive. Well, that's the ride for today on the DCT NC700X. Really cool bike. I appreciate it a little bit more than most people because I've been a commuter for a very long time and I like efficient bikes, and this thing is extremely efficient. And before I end the video, I wanted to show you what I've been working on. This is the new garage setup. Might be a little bit hard to see, but I got all of these for free and I've been working on it, so it doesn't look like a terrible mess anymore. I painted the ceiling, painted the walls, got all of these cabinets put in, pegboard, so it's moving pretty well. I'm gonna paint the floor, but that's the ride for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Kind of stuck here. The cops won't bother me.